Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Oh, the teacher's here.
Oh, sorry.
Good afternoon. Thank you for
Good
listening.
afternoon.
Now I've got your attention. How are we all doing today?
Oh, yeah, we're doing pretty good, actually. Thank you.
That's good. Has everyone had a good day so far?
Yeah, I've had a really good day because actually before I was like telling the guys at recess about Luna Park and how I went there on the weekend. It was really cool.
Well, that sounds really exciting. That would have been a really good place to go to on the weekend.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
It is your favorite. That's good. I've never been there. Hopefully one day I get to go there. What about you, Will? Have you had a good day so far today?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
You guess so. Well, hopefully after today's lesson, that'll hopefully let you have more of a good day because I've got some good things planned for our lesson this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so if everyone is ready to get started, we will get on with today's numeracy lesson. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Mhm.
So today we're going to learn about symmetry, and we'll learn about symmetry in a few different ways. So symmetry is a very interesting thing to learn about. It's all around us in our environment, both in the classroom and without. And after today's lesson, you'll be able to recognize symmetry everywhere you go. So before we get started, I wonder, has anyone heard of the word symmetry, or does anyone have any idea what the word symmetry might mean? So yes, I can see a few of you are raising your hands, so that's good. Mina, what do you think symmetry means, or can you give me an example of what symmetry is?
So symmetry is when an object is the same on both sides.
Excellent. That's a perfect answer. That's exactly what we're going to learn about today. I did see someone else who just had their hand up. Was that you, Carlos? Did you have your hand up?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was me. Well, actually, I was just going to say that symmetry, we're the same thing as Mina, but actually, I find spiders in the backyard sometimes, and sometimes I like to cut them in half, well, the dead ones, and then you can see that they are actually the same on both sides.
Oh, wow. That is
Carlos, that's gross.
Yeah, that's a different example of symmetry, yes. But yes, if it is the same on both sides, then yes, that's symmetry.
Well, It's not gross, it's just science.
It is science as well. Okay, so does anyone know if it is symmetry, there's a word that we use to discuss something that has symmetry in it. Does anyone know what that word might be? Oh, Mina, again, would you like to answer? What word do you think that might be to discuss symmetry?
Yes. Is it the same?
The same, yes. Yes, that is a version of it, but we have an actual word. Emily, I see that you're doing a lot of writing in front of you. Do you have any ideas what you think that symmetry, another word for symmetry is?
Well, I'm not sure. I was just drawing a butterfly.
You're just drawing a butterfly. That's a perfect example of symmetry, if that's what you were trying to draw. Because a butterfly.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah,
it is symmetrical.
It is symmetrical.
Oh, that's the word, symmetrical.
That is the word. Well done. Symmetrical or symmetric. And that word means that if you were to draw a line straight down the middle, or if you pictured an imaginary line down the middle, and it's the same on both sides, just like a mirror image, then yeah, that's what symmetry means. Okay, another easy way to understand symmetry, for those of you that's not quite sure or haven't really looked into it that much, is we all have a piece of paper in front of us. Let's just have a look at that piece of paper. And let's just imagine that we folded that piece of paper in half, okay? So the crease that's down the middle of that piece of paper, that can act as our line. That can be our line of symmetry, okay? And can everyone see that on both sides of that line, the two areas are the same? Can
Yes.
everyone see that? Yes, yep, so it's both the same
Yeah, I
shape.
can see that.
You can see that? So what's similar about it? What can we see that's the same? Does it have the same lines on either side? Is it the same shape? What about it looks the same? Yes, Jayla. Thank you for putting your
Okay,
hand up.
well, I think I folded mine crooked, so mine doesn't look quite the same, but if I folded it right, it would be the same. Like Emily did a really good job. Hers is not crooked.
Oh, well done. That's okay. That's all right. We've got plenty of practice and plenty of activities to do this lesson, so we can practice how we're going to find symmetry in everyday objects and within outside. So another way, if we're finding it a bit difficult to fold, let's try and draw. So I can say that, does everyone have a pencil or a pen that they can
Yeah.
they can pick up? Okay, all right, let's pick up that pen. Okay, I want everyone to first draw a square. Can everyone draw a square?
I can draw a square.
You can? Excellent. All right.
1, 2.
And how many lines is there on a
okay.
square? How many do we have on there?
Oh, I know that one. There's actually 4.
4. Excellent. Well done. Okay. Now, has everyone drawn their square? Is everyone ready to move on to the next part?
Yes, I have.
Yes, Emily? Mina, have you got your square drawn?
Yes.
Yes, Will?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, well done. Okay, now I would like everyone to draw a line from the top to the bottom, straight down the middle of your square. Okay, are we done?
Yep.
Will, Emily?
Yes, I'm done.
Yep, perfect. Okay, now let's have a look at the picture in front of you. Can everyone see on both sides of the line? Does it look the same or does it look different?
Well,
Will? Yes, yeah, perfect. You got your hand up.
Well, it looks like a rectangle now on both sides.
It looks like a rectangle on both sides. Do both sides look the same?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, that's a perfect example of symmetry then. I'm wondering if anyone can think of another shape that we could possibly draw that can help us work out if it has symmetry or if it's symmetrical or not. Who would like to give us an example? Mina, again, you have your hand up. What shape do you think we could draw that would show a line of symmetry?
So I was just thinking that I did a production one time, and part of the set design of the musical, they had a big star on stage, and maybe that star would actually be symmetrical.
That's a perfect example. Can everyone draw a star, and then we can see, once we've drawn the line of symmetry down that star, if it
I
is a
hate drawing.
symmetrical shape. You hate drawing, do you?
I'm so bad at it. I
That's
can't
all
draw
right,
a star.
Carlos. You can try and do it
You
in
can,
any way you like.
Carlos. It's not that hard. You can copy mine.
I'll draw an example of a star. And once we finish doing these shapes, we're going to move on to something that's a bit more exciting. I would just like everyone to see symmetry after we've spoken about symmetry, so everyone can understand. Okay, so once we've got our star drawn, let's draw a line down.
I'm finished. I
Everyone's
already
finished?
drew a line down.
Oh, well
Oh,
done,
yeah, I
Emily.
already drew a line down.
You've done one too, Carlos. What about you, Jayla? How are you getting on?
I mean, my star's a bit of a mess, but I drew a line down it.
That's okay. And does it look similar on either end?
Yeah, well, it looks pretty close.
It looks
I'm
pretty
going
close.
to try folding it in half. I think it's crooked.
That's okay. You can fold your paper in half if that's another way that you want to do it. Or you can just imagine a line straight down the middle as well. Okay, so now that we have drawn a few shapes, I'd like to talk about symmetry in our environment. Okay, so symmetry doesn't just happen in shapes, it happens in all different objects all around us. So I'll give you an example. Symmetry can be found outdoors in nature. It can be found outdoors in buildings or transport. If we can think of our playground outside, can we think of some examples of symmetry outside? So I can give you an example. A flower. If I can find a flower in the playground and then I can imagine a line directly down the flower, it'll be the same on both sides. Can anyone else think of any objects in nature or outside in our playground or in your garden at home that has symmetry? Carlos, yes.
Well, I already said mine, which was a spider, but also there are a lot of bugs that have the same amount of legs and stuff on both sides.
Correct, yes, bugs. Bugs definitely
So
have
gross,
a lot of
Carlos.
symmetry.
Please don't bring a spider inside. That's disgusting.
Well, I won't bring a live one inside, but if there's a dead one, I'll show you. It's got 4 legs on either side.
Well,
No, I
maybe
really
when
don't
we
want
go,
you to do that.
we're going to go outside in the remainder of our lesson after. So we might see some spiders outside. We might see some other bugs outside that we can look at if that's what interests you, Carlos. Or we can see
I hope
symmetry
so.
in bugs. Yep, we can see what we can find out there. Okay, what about you, Will? Can you think of anything out in the playground or even in your garden at home, on the beach, anything that you can think of that if we drew an imaginary line down it, it would be symmetry or symmetrical?
Oh, well, it's not like nature, but I guess a skateboard.
A skateboard, yeah, that could work. Like I said, it's things within our environment. Doesn't have to be just nature. It can be objects as well. So a skateboard is a perfect example. If we drew a line straight down the middle of your skateboard, it'd be the same on both sides. That's a very good example. Emily, can you think of something that you think might have symmetry? Can you think of an object that has symmetry in it?
Well, maybe. Well, maybe your oven mitt in the background is symmetrical.
Oven mitt in the background symmetrical. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So if I was to draw or imagine an imaginary line down that oven mitt, would it be the same on both sides?
Let me check. I
Are you
need
gonna
to
draw it?
draw it.
That's okay. Some of us can
mm,
imagine and some of us need to be a bit more visual.
I think it is symmetrical.
It is. I think it would be symmetrical if we cut down the oven mitt. Then it would be the same on both sides. Yes, Jayla, you have your hand up.
Okay, well, I was just going to say that I'm really hungry and it's lunchtime.
It's lunchtime. Oh, wow, that went very quickly. We've still got quite a lot that we have to cover. Okay, if we can start to pack up, if we can put our pencils and pens to the sides, and then we can start to get ready for lunch.
Oh, yes, okay.
Okay, all right, thank you. End simulation.
Well done, Chloe. How did you feel?
I set my timer, but it didn't go, so I kind of ran out of time pretty quickly. So I was like, oh my goodness.
That's okay. It's tough keeping it into 10 minutes. So
Yeah.
Is there something you felt like you did particularly well in that simulation?
I think I did study quite a bit of the actual topic, so I felt quite confident discussing the topic. But I feel like I could have got more informative throughout it.
Okay.
Maybe I covered the same thing a bit too long, a bit too much, and didn't move on to the next thing enough to keep them occupied or engaged.
Okay. And if you were going to do it again, what would you change about what you did just now?
Maybe do less of the drawing in front of them and having more discussions, I think.
Okay. Beautiful. Thank you for the feedback.